Frida Kahlo was a remarkable woman and a truly unique artist from Mexico. She was born in a beautiful blue house known as the Casa Azul in Coyoacán, a neighborhood in Mexico City. This home was more than just a place to live. It became the center of her universe. A place where she was born, where she worked, and where she eventually passed away. Frida's life was filled with vibrant colors, just like her paintings and her beloved Mexico. She had a strong connection to her country's culture and traditions. You could see this in the way she dressed, wearing long, flowing skirts, intricate ribbons in her hair, and bold, handcrafted jewelry that celebrated her Mexican heritage. Her full name was Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderón. She was born in 1907, a time of great change in Mexico. Her father, Guillermo Kahlo, was a photographer of German descent, and her mother, Matilde Calderón y González, was of Spanish and indigenous Mexican descent. This mixed heritage gave Frida a rich cultural background that she proudly embraced throughout her entire life. She often said she was a child of the Mexican Revolution, which began in 1910, linking her own life story to the story of her nation. This deep sense of identity and belonging to Mexico would become a central theme in her powerful and unforgettable artwork. Frida did not originally plan to become an artist. As a young girl, she was bright, curious, and full of life, with a mischievous spirit that often got her into trouble. She was one of the few women to attend the prestigious National Preparatory School in Mexico City, where she dreamed of becoming a doctor. Her mind was sharp, and her ambitions were high. She was part of a group of friends who were passionate about politics and literature, and she was known for her infectious laughter and her strong opinions. Art was present in her life through her father's photography, but her own path was set to follow the sciences. However, life had a different and much more difficult journey in store for her. Even before the devastating accident that would change everything, Frida faced significant health challenges. At the young age of 6, she contracted polio. This illness left her right leg thinner and weaker than her left, a condition she would have for the rest of her life. To hide this, she often wore long, traditional Tehuana skirts. This early battle with physical pain taught her a resilience that would define her character. It was the first of many struggles that would shape her perspective and ultimately find a voice through her paintbrush, turning her personal suffering into universal art. Frida's dream of becoming a doctor was shattered on a gray afternoon in 1925. When she was just 18 years old, she was involved in a horrific bus accident. The wooden bus she was riding collided with a streetcar, leading to a catastrophic event that nearly took her life. A steel handrail impaled her body, breaking her spine in 3 places, shattering her collarbone, ribs, and pelvis, and fracturing her right leg in 11 places. Her injuries were so severe that doctors at the time did not believe she would survive. This single moment of brutal force altered the course of her existence forever, ending one dream, but unexpectedly beginning another. The recovery process was agonizingly long and intensely painful. Frida was confined to her bed for months, encased in plaster corsets and other medical devices that restricted her movement. She underwent more than 30 operations throughout her lifetime to try and correct the damage from the accident. The physical pain was a constant companion, a shadow that never left her side. During these long periods of isolation and immobility, her world shrank to the confines of her room at the Casa Azul. It was in this state of profound stillness and suffering that her journey as a painter truly began, born out of a desperate need to do something with her time and her thoughts. To help her pass the long hours in bed, her parents gave her a special easel that could be used while she was lying down. They also placed a large mirror above her canopy bed, so she had a subject to paint herself. Frida once said, "I paint myself because I'm so often alone, and because I'm the subject I know best." Her reflection became her first and most frequent model. This marked the beginning of her exploration into self-portraiture, a genre she would come to dominate with her unique and unflinching honesty. Painting became her therapy, her escape, and her way of making sense of her broken body and her emotional turmoil. Through art, Frida found a way to communicate what words could not express. Her early paintings from this period show her trying to understand her new reality. The accident had taken away her physical freedom, but it had given her a new lens through which to see the world and herself. It forced her to look inward, to confront her own fragility and strength. The intense physical pain she endured became intertwined with her creative process. Every brushstroke was a testament to her will to live and to create something beautiful and meaningful out of her immense suffering. Her art became a diary of her pain, a visual record of her life. Frida Kahlo's paintings are like an open book of her life, filled with symbols that tell the story of her pain, her love, and her identity. She did not paint dreams, she painted her own reality. One of her most direct works about her physical suffering is The Broken Column, created in 1944. In this haunting self-portrait, Frida depicts herself standing alone in a barren landscape. Her body is split open down the middle, revealing a crumbling ionic column in place of her spine, symbolizing her broken back. Nails are pierced all over her skin, representing the constant sharp pain she felt every day. She wears a steel medical corset, but her face, though streaked with tears, remains strong and defiant. Another powerful painting that explores her suffering is The Wounded Deer, from 1946. In this piece, Frida portrays herself as a young deer that has been struck by multiple arrows. She gives the deer her own face, which looks out at the viewer with an expression of sorrow and shock. The forest setting is dark and foreboding, and in the distance, a stormy sea suggests there is no escape from the pain. This painting is a metaphor for the emotional and physical wounds she carried throughout her life, particularly after a disappointing surgery in New York that failed to relieve her chronic back pain. The arrows represent the relentless blows she felt life had dealt her. Frida's art also delved into the deep emotional pain she experienced in her personal life, especially in her turbulent relationship with the famous muralist Diego Rivera. They shared a great love but also endured much heartbreak. Her 1939 painting, The Two Fridas, is a profound exploration of this emotional turmoil following their divorce. It shows two identical Fridas sitting side by side on a bench. One Frida, dressed in traditional Mexican attire, has a whole heart and holds a small portrait of Diego. The other Frida, in a European-style dress, has a broken, exposed heart, and a surgical clamp fails to stop the bleeding from a severed artery, staining her white dress red. These paintings are just a few examples of how Frida used her canvas to transform her personal tragedies into powerful works of art. She never shied away from showing her vulnerability or her physical ailments. Instead, she confronted them head-on with a raw honesty that was revolutionary for her time. Her art was a form of catharsis, a way to process her experiences and reclaim control over her own narrative. By painting her broken body, her miscarriages and her heartache, she gave a voice to silent suffering and created a visual language that was uniquely and profoundly her own, connecting with viewers on a deeply human level. Today, Frida Kahlo is more than just a painter. She is a global icon of strength, resilience, and unapologetic self-expression. People all around the world remember and love her because she was authentically herself. In a time when women were often expected to be quiet and reserved, Frida was bold, passionate, and outspoken. She challenged conventional ideas of beauty by proudly embracing her unique features, including her famous unibrow and faint mustache, which she exaggerated in her self-portraits. She inspires people to be proud of who they are, to celebrate their flaws, and to live life on their own terms without fear of judgment. Her impact on the art world and beyond continues to grow decades after her death in 1954. During her lifetime, she was primarily known as the wife of Diego Rivera, but in the years since, her fame has eclipsed his. Her home, the Casa Azul, is now a museum that attracts visitors from every corner of the globe, all wanting to step into her world and feel her presence. Her face and her art appear on everything from posters and clothing to books and movies, a testament to her enduring popularity. She has become a symbol for many social movements, including feminism, LGBTQ+ rights, and the Chicano movement, because her life and art represent a fight for freedom and identity. The reason Frida's story and art resonate so deeply with so many is because they are incredibly human. She teaches us that it is possible to find purpose and create beauty even in the midst of great suffering. Her life was a testament to the strength of the human spirit. She took the most painful aspects of her existence, her chronic pain, her heartbreak, her inability to have children, and transformed them into breathtaking art that speaks a universal language of emotion. People see their own struggles reflected in her work, and they find comfort and courage in her example of facing adversity with creativity and grace. In summary, Frida Kahlo's legacy is one of triumph over tragedy. She was a woman who was broken in body, but never in spirit. Through her vibrant and deeply personal paintings, she built a bridge between her inner world of pain and the outside world, inviting us all to look at our own realities with honesty and courage. She showed us that our wounds do not have to define us, instead they can become a source of our greatest strength and creativity. Frida Kahlo continues to inspire millions to live boldly, to love fiercely, and to turn their own pain into something powerful and beautiful. Her colorful life and art will never be forgotten.